We are back. The latest and greatest advancements in innovation and technology. Leaders and experts sharing their passion and knowledge with you to optimize your health, wellness, business, and life. We are here, round two. Dominika and Steve Laureto, founders of Supreme Wellness, Aesthetics, and Recovery in Chicago. Don't miss it. Education, raising awareness, optimal results for you. We are here, round two. Dominika, Steve, thanks again for so much.
All right, I'll try to do better round two than I did round one. Sorry, I was a little too intense round one. I'll be a lot more calmer, and I won't cut you off this time.
Steve, we're going to get the boxing gloves here soon. I'm just the mediator. I'm just going to sit right here and watch. But I think Dominika wins every bout, every round.
Probably does.
I think I do.
Give in. I always tap.
Well, Steve and Dominika, so we left off, we talked about a lot of different modalities on the previous show and how that could optimize people, whether it's, athleticism, whether it's overcoming an illness, inflammation, brain fog, all these different things that are out there. I want to talk briefly about thoughts on blood work. Steve, I mentioned, and both of you, I mentioned the NPC and the IFBB are now teaming up with the National Academy of Sports Medicine, which I think is huge.
Yeah, I do too.
Because going back to those words I've always used, education and raising awareness, doing things the right way. So now they're going to work with a credible organization, NASM, which is founded by Dr. Bob Goldman, has, I think, 1.7 million certified trainers. 1.7 million certified trainers worldwide. So now by teaming up, one of the first things I always, mention to people or talk to people in conversation is, when's the last time you got your blood work done? What's happening on the inside? You can see this beautiful car on the outside, but there's no engine. There's nothing inside. So what are your thoughts on blood work, and what would your recommendations be to trainers working with clients that could potentially lead their clients to someone like you, where you can work with your doctor and work with yourselves to better prescribe a program, where they're working on their inside, everything that's happening internally, and then, of course, externally.
Well, I love the fact that teaming up with certified trainers, because you talk about this before, and you've talked about this many times, Rob, from the doctor, the nurse, to the trainer, right? So at our facility, it kind of ends with the doctor and the nurse, because now here we go. We tell you, here's what the blood work's telling us from a comprehensive standpoint. Here's certain supplements, certain peptides, certain modalities. But I do think the strongest medication still out there is resistance training, strength training. So now where's the trainer, right? And dealing with that client. So I think that's important.
Combination. Yeah.
And that combination is very, very important. Now that is something that we are starting to do at Supreme, where we look at the blood work, obviously, from a comprehensive standpoint. We are contracted out with a lab. Our medical doctor, our functional doctor, Dominika, are very knowledgeable in this end when it comes from just not only the blood work, from what certain peptides we're taking, what kind of diet, what kind of supplements, whether it's with the supplement we work with,
Full Script,
to, Dr. Zirk, who deals with more men's health, but also women's health as well. And Dr. Barbie maybe deals a little bit more with women's health on that end. But now they're done. And what is the goal? And still, to me, it comes down to, what are we doing outside the facility? And I think it's really got to start with strength training. And I think some people do need guidance with that. And I think that's where the certified trainer and a knowledgeable trainer is so important.
Yeah, I think just to, talk about that strength training and how important that is. It's one thing to walk around a lake, or to walking, and running is good, but I cannot emphasize,
we got to keep muscle on.
Strength training.
We got to stay as strong as we can for as long as we can. We got to keep that muscle on. I'm a big believer in that. But
I actually think that blood work is crucial to find the root cause of any condition. That's my opinion, because it gives you objective data. That's something that you can't really argue. Blood work markers are blood work markers, so we can detect any type of inflammation.
How extensive are your panels? Are your blood work
Very
panels?
extensive. So, you can do just something basic, but you can do cancer markers, inflammation markers, toxins, all kinds of different things, food sensitivities. So depending on
Food sensitivity is huge. People don't even realize.
And that's just a one-time deal too. Food sensitivity you don't have to continue to do.
Right. So,
what you do one time, you're fine.
Yeah.
Same with cancer markers, you just do one time. But the comprehensive blood work with like a detail, a lipid panel, depending on what the findings are on the first one, sometimes like we ask clients to retest, like let's say at 8 weeks or 12 weeks. Sometimes it's every 6 months. It just depends what the findings are. But I feel like it's crucial. I did my blood work. I am a healthy person. I eat
How often
healthy.
do you get your blood work?
I do every 6 months.
Every 6
I'm
months.
actually due now, so I'm gonna do my.
Steve, what about you?
Same.
Yeah.
And I'm actually due as
Yeah,
well.
so you could ask some people and they don't remember. They don't remember.
no,
If you're not at least doing it once a year, I think there's a problem.
Especially as you age, when you get older.
Oh yeah, you'll be surprised. And
Prevention.
just because everything, like a lot of my findings are within normal limits, but I'm not optimal. I'm either on a lower end and maybe some higher end.
Keyword, I'm not optimal.
I'm not optimal. And
Right.
it's crazy because I do so, like I use different modalities. I eat healthy. I exercise every day. I'm still not optimal because, stress of just daily living, exposure to toxins, what we breathe, it just puts you out of balance. So that's important. But it gives you objective data. It humbles you too, in my opinion. You look at the numbers, you sit with someone like Dr. Barbie or Dr. Zirk, like a functional medicine provider, and they tell you, and you're like, oh.
You're educating, you're educating your clients. So you're, as a team.
Absolutely.
As a team, you're reviewing the panels, you're looking over the panels, and then the doctor is working with you. And then together you come up with this plan for that particular client.
And tell them about the old school way of doing with your primary care blood work compared to a comprehensive panel.
Listen, every doctor I know, they're all great. Physicians are great people, and they're a physician for a reason. They want to help. However, how the system works, they're so limited by what they can test and how much time they can spend with clients. The blood work they do, it's just, honestly,
Right.
Clients bring the blood work to us. We have to it shows nothing. It's way too basic. And
I think the marker that they used to talk about back in the day was cholesterol. That was like the only thing if there was an issue. Your primary care, your cholesterol's a little high, and that would be it.
And the same thing with testosterone.
They don't even want to do hormones.
They'll never talk
They
about
could test for that.
Right.
Yeah. You got to spin that 2 to 3 times to do it right.
Right.
Yeah. A lot of clients coming back saying, my doctor didn't want to run this, or she didn't want to run that. So we just kind of have to just do our own blood work.
So you're more extensive.
Much more extensive.
That's what people, I think, need to understand.
100%. Yeah.
It's not just like the 6 values, just the basic stuff, much more extensive.
And you're sitting down there with the client, going over the results of the blood.
Correct. Yes, it's an hour consultation, and that it's with the doctor. So it's either Dr. Zirk or Dr. Barbie, and then we come in based on depending on what their protocol is. So like if they're doing peptides, I come in. Help with the treatment plan. If there's a need for some sort of corrective exercise or recovery, Steve comes in.
Do you refer trainers? Do people come in?
We have not yet, but Dr. Barbie's husband, Tim Algretti, has been a trainer for almost 40 years. And I actually did my intern with him right out of college. We've talked about bringing that into the mix, adding that kind of, blueprint where you have the trainer involved, which I do love the idea. I do. And I think it's important because, again, we do talk about workouts with clients and then they leave.
Right.
How many times do you go to the gym and you look around? 90% of people are doing the exercises wrong. Let's just start with
Incorrect.
that.
Incorrect.
So we got to do corrective exercise.
And most of them don't even know where they're going. There's no goal.
idea.
There's no objective. There's no plan.
And when you're doing the exercise wrong, that's going to cause injury or no results, one of the two, right? So now we're going backwards. So I think corrective exercising, knowing how to actually, not even so much periodization, not so much of like putting together a program over 6 to 8 weeks. I don't think that matters. I think what really matters is variety of exercises, doing them the right way, and keeping that client having a good time.
And you don't have
fun.
to be in the gym for,
No.
people thinking, not even an hour. I mean, if you did 30 minutes of 20 minutes, you know what you could do in 20 minutes. I saw what you did in 60 seconds. So it's just,
I'm not in. She knows this. I'm not in the gym more than the most. I'm in the gym is 45 minutes at a time. That's it.
45. It's
being
more
specific.
about consistency and discipline.
Right. Yeah.
That's in my opinion, like a long-term goal. And the other thing is too that a lot of things that we talk to clients, like it's obvious to us. Unfortunately, it's not really that obvious to them, but it is basic. It's your sleep, it's activity, and your nutrition. Those are the very,
Sleep
very
is so
basic.
huge.
Oh,
so huge.
The
People,
Number one
just
modality for recovery is
underestimate.
sleep.
Yeah.
because people get that interruption, middle of the night, they're tossing, they're turning.
Right.
So now you're waking up, you don't get that deep REM sleep.
Right. So the first question when they come in, let's say, and they're whatever the symptoms they're having, and like, oh, I want to do a chamber. My first question is like, your sleep, your diet, and your activity. Because if you don't master those three,
This is what you're consulting. You're
correct.
you're
I mean, I don't want anyone to spend money on hyperbaric chamber if they sleep 3 hours a night. You have to fix the basics first.
Yeah.
You got to take care of your sleep. You got to sleep 7 to 8 hours a night, like a good quality sleep. You got to eat well. I'm not saying be perfect, but eat well, and you got to move. And then you can add or invest your money in a different modalities to make you optimal, right? To just help you optimize your well-being. But if you're not covering the basics, chamber is not going to necessarily fix that.
right. You have to lifestyle changes. Your own. What you're doing
you
on
gotta
your
do
own.
your own job, or your own work. There's no miracles,
Yeah, that was that one of the things we were talking about when we talked about the trainer working together, is that again, informing the client of what's out there, but like, as you said, Dominika, taking care of yourself, and then referring someone like yourselves to let's take a deep dive into what's happening
Right.
internally. Working with you. We'll talk about this later because I know we're going to talk about business practices, marketing and strategies, things like that. But one of the things that we all spoke about is, having that trainer even come to your facility, you educating them on what you do. Many trainers out there do not know what you're doing and how it would optimize. Now, if you're working with a client and you're now referring them to someone like yourselves, those results are going to come quicker. They're going to have more improvement all around, mentally,
Right.
physically, emotionally. So I think there has to be a process there, like we were saying earlier, whether it's National Academy of Sport, there's many great organizations out there, but inviting those trainers over to a place like yours and again, you have to scout out those clinics. Not everyone has an operation like Steve and Dominika. They're very passionate, extremely knowledgeable, and that's the key. It's sort of like searching out a trainer. It's one thing to be super knowledgeable, but you could be super knowledgeable. You could be top trainer in your world, but then if you cannot connect with that individual, then
100%,
all bets are off. It doesn't happen.
Yeah.
That connection process. So by the time you take with your clients, evaluating and assessing them, but if the trainer has a better idea of what you're doing, and again, it's just many are out there, they just don't know. That's why I wanted the first episode to be like basic 101. What do you offer? What do you have? And there's so much more that you have. But I think in just inviting trainers over to facilities, whether your facility or others, that's a great way to network and then educating that trainer. So when they go back to their clients, trainers have how many clients a week, and then starting off with that basic conversation, blood work, or at least go visit Supreme, go check out what they're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And they're gonna see those results quicker. Then again, it's a process, taking care of yourself, what you're doing during the day, but also, enhancing your own knowledge. And that's where the trainer really should take the dive into, like A4M, for example.
Yeah.
More trainers should be going to those
100%.
conferences, which we'll talk about that in a little bit. Okay, so we got the blood work, get that done. But I really, I just love talking about peptides and all that's out there. There's so much out there. And again, we'll just keep it simple, basic 101 stuff for people. You have your peptides. What are the most popular? The one that comes to my mind is the BPC 157. For me, popular. Did they take that off the market, or is that back on?
It is technically still
Off
the market, like many of them.
So-
Hopefully that will change soon.
So, so Dominika, go down your favorites on the peptides, what they are, and then we'll talk about IV infusion next.
Okay. So, well, peptides are basically just small chains of amino acids. And like you said, BPC 157 is probably the most popular one because it has variety of different benefits, but mainly it's considered a healing peptide. BPC 157 was found in human gastric juices. That's why it's great for gut health in oral form. It directly acts on your lining of the stomach, so it can repair lining of the stomach, any type of leaky gut, IBS, any gut issues. But also it accelerates the healing of muscle, tendons, ligaments. So it's great for injury. It's going to decrease inflammation to the injury site. So that's why it's so popular. So it speeds up
You
the
can actually
recovery.
inject it right into the site.
Right.
So why is there controversy behind the BPC 157?
I think there's a controversy
Because it helps too much?
Probably.
Yes, it
And
probably
I think
doesn't
there's been a
work.
little bit of controversy with peptides over the
Just
last
in
couple
general,
of years.
it is. Well, they are taken off the market technically because they're saying it's not enough data showing that these peptides work. I didn't find any studies showing that there are some side effects of them. They're harming people. So, but truly, peptides work, and I think that many people stop taking medication and switch to peptides. It's not good for big pharma.
Yeah,
Because big pharma does
can't
not
own it,
make
then it's
money
a problem.
off peptides.
That's a whole
So
episode.
if you using medication that big pharma makes millions on, and then you're switching to peptide, then you're taking technically money from
Right. Yeah. From the
Right,
big
so-
Because
pharma.
there are like Tesmeral's FDA approved, right?
under name of Agrifta, yes. It is FDA approved for muscle wasting in HIV people, so that's the FDA approval for. I find peptides very beneficial and very effective. All of our clients find peptides very effective. And like going back to BPC 157, it speeds up the recovery process as well. And now studies show that it's neuroprotective, so actually it can reduce symptoms or neurodegenerative symptoms of Alzheimer, dementia, Parkinson's. So people are taking it to improve brain health as well.
So BPC 157. What are your say top 3 or 4 after that?
I love them all, but speaking about BPC 157, there is a similar peptide or like category TB500, which is a synthetic version of thymosin beta 4. That peptide is found in human tissue, and it also works by accelerating healing process and speeding up recovery of ligaments, tendon, and muscle. Just the mechanism of action is different. So BPC 157 improve angiogenesis, which is formation of new blood vessel, so improve circulation. TB500 supports cell migration to the injury site, so they both working synergistically.
So you could take both together.
You can take the both together. BPC 157, it's great for, like he said, when you inject to the injury site, it has localized effect. TB500 is more systemic, so great synergistically.
How often would people? I guess different needs.
Different, right? But 5 to 6 days a week, and then dosages also kind of depends on the severity of the injury.
If you want to save money when the injury's there, take it. When the injury's gone, don't take it. Or stack BP 157 direct into the injury, and then go on the hyperbaric.
So people can do this themselves.
Correct.
Yeah,
People
we
can
show
do it.
them how to do it.
Yeah. TB500, it's probably better for like a chronic injury, chronic pain. BPC 157 is going to be better for like acute injury.
So do you think will that come back to?
I am truly hoping. I'm truly hoping that with the new administration, we get.
Because a lot of people were very happy with the BPC 157.
Those are great, but there's also incredible performance peptides like ModC.
Yeah. So what are your top 3? 3 more top ones.
So ModC is a mitochondrial peptide. So it is great for improving. We were talking about mitochondria functioning. So that's a great peptide to improve mitochondria to produce more ATP, more energy. It's great for brain health because of the same reason. It's going to reduce that inflammation in the brain. But also the other effect of MOTS-c is that MOTS-c is going to promote glucose uptake, so breakdown of the glucose and breakdown of fat. So it's a great peptide for people who are on weight loss regimen or who are on, like, let's say GLP-1 and want to transition off. We always put them on MOTS-c just for the transition.
So GLP-1 is something different.
GLP-1 is something different. So MOTS-c is considered mitochondrial peptide.
Less fatigue in the gym when you're on it.
It improves performance just because it makes
Same
mitochondria.
thing once a day?
Three times a week.
So the dose is 10 milligram a week, split it in 3 doses.
So do you have like a menu of options? Like when someone
Yes.
comes in that describes,
Yes,
this is,
Right, but it's also based on, depending on the consultation. So the doctor consults and let's say whatever the
Then you would
goal,
prescribe, you would give them your recommendations.
I sit with the doctor and the client. and
Because
we'll just,
because with peptides, you have recovery forms, you have performance forms, and you also have growth forms. So there's different peptides
for different. So so like when it comes to, you said growth hormone releasing peptides, that would be something like CJC,
IGF-1.
IGF-1.
right?
Yeah,
CJC,
talk about IGF-1.
tesmorelin.
I want to talk about that one, yeah.
So tesmorelin, CJC with ipmorelin. So those would be the category of, like, you call it performance peptides.
IGF-1 is a great stack. I like with MOTS-c, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
I like
So
stacking.
so do you take that regularly, or
I don't.
or you cycle off and on it?
I will do, so I've tried all the different peptides, and I do think it's like working out. You want to keep the body guessing a little bit as well. I'm a big fan of tesmorelin in the dead of winter. I feel like it's better on recovery. It keeps my weight down, manages a little bit more fat loss for me.
Tesmorelin, yeah.
CJC ipmorelin, I do feel like that puts on a little bit of lean muscle mass for me, but hands down, no doubt
So
about
does that attack the visceral fat? Does that?
So tesmorelin will target visceral fat, especially fat around your waistline. It is very powerful. That's why it's FDA approved under name of Agrifta for that muscle or fat.
Because I think a lot of people struggle, even the ones that work out, that struggle with that.
As well, helps my natural testosterone levels when I take it, put on more lean muscle mass. But from a workout standpoint, for me, MOTS-c, number one.
Number one.
Yeah.
So that will be a after show call.
MOTS-c, number one. When you see what I do,
MOTS-c
it's because of MOTS-c.
Really? So we have those IGF-1 mentioned on that. IV infusion. So one of the popular ones I keep reading about is NAD. Yeah. So let's talk about NAD.
Okay, so IV infusions, basically, like for those who don't exactly know, it's basically a direct infusion of fluids and vitamins or coenzymes into the bloodstream. The reason we do it because it has 100% of absorption, right? So anything you take it orally, like supplements, you may have maybe 20% of absorption. Anytime you do it through the bloodstream, it has 100% of absorption.
Exactly.
So that's IV. NAD, yes, very popular nowadays. NAD is basically a coenzyme in every living cell, and it's crucial for energy production in the body. So without NAD, your mitochondria will not make energy. So energy, we need energy for anything we do in life, right?
It totally like restructures everything, right? But it's a long drip, right? It's like a few hours, I think.
Depends how much you can
slow drip because you can get nauseous. You can get
NAD also activates certain enzymes such as SIRT2 which is like longevity enzyme. Another enzyme called PARP, PARP. That's the enzyme that actually help DNA repair cell DNA. So it's crucial for like daily living and functioning. As we age, the NAD declines. So that's why people feel brain fog, fatigue.
How often? I know everyone's needs are different, but how often would you suggest someone do an NAD?
Depending what the goal is. So let's say NAD also helps withdrawal symptoms from addiction. So
I was just going to bring that up. That's a big one because the addiction, I've been reading a lot how NAD is helping people with addictions overcome those cravings.
Yes. Huge. But that's a daily infusion. So let's say daily infusion, maybe 14 days, and then
2 or 3 hours a sitting?
Depending. so everyone also has a different tolerance to NAD. Some people, I have a client who gets it in 45 minutes.
So when you say that, just so people understand, it's a slower or a faster trip.
If you go slower, it's more tolerable.
Yeah. As faster you go,
For
right?
me, it takes
But
me an hour and
usually-
a half.
Hour and a half. That's what takes me about.
Yeah, usually 2 to 3 hours. The higher the dose, the slower the drip, basically. And it can be anywhere from like 250 milligram of NAD to like 1,000 milligrams.
What would be the purpose of the higher dose? Like what would? It's like, so
better
what,
results, faster results. It truly, like clients after 3 sessions of higher dose feel tremendous, like energy
immediately?
immediately.
And
And then
brain
you have a
functions at the
steady,
highest level.
right? Brain functions the highest level. They have a steady energy throughout the day. There's no ups and downs, and
Mood swings.
yeah,
Yeah, people.
You want to get rid of brain fog, do the NAD a few times, you get in the hyperbaric chamber, brain fog's gone.
oh yeah, it's amazing.
Go
Yeah,
Wow.
NAD with hyperbaric chamber.
So you're doing the NAD.
We actually do it in the
inside the
chamber,
chamber.
You do the
inside the chamber.
can't beat that.
And it's easier. It's easier. to
You can
take
have
it.
Braintap, Braintap, hyperbaric, and NAD.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, and a quick
Wow.
tip, and
Yep.
I'm sure that a lot of providers know that, but if you add Zofran to NAD, it kind of helps with the symptoms of like nausea and feeling sick. Also, if you don't have a hyperbaric chamber, but you have some sort of oxygen, putting oxygen mask with the NAD also helps to
We have a
tolerate better.
client who does it once a week when he's in the Chicagoland area. He does an ad once a week, and he's a CEO of a big
Does
wine-
the stack or does NAD?
Oh yeah, huge sack.
Huge
stack.
M-Sculpt,
huge. So M Sculpt is 20,000 perfect muscle contraction. He does an hour of that. He does NAD, less than an hour.
Talk about the M-Skull real quick. Briefly, what it does.
So M Sculpt's a machine that it's BTL. Is
the company is called BTL.
And the name of the machine is called M Sculpt Neo. And what M Sculpt Neo is, it provides a heat source to the pads, so we're able to burn some fat. But ultimately, what I love about it is the contractions are perfect on the muscle, perfect, and you get 20,000 of those in 30 minutes.
How long was that?
30 minutes.
30 minutes.
30
And
minutes,
I
yeah.
believe that after one session alone, it threefolds your strength in your core.
It does improve
Really?
It's
core
incredible.
strength, yes.
My leg strength has gone up 75 pounds.
How
And
often do you do it?
I'll do, I mean, I like to play around with it, but I'll do it at least once every 2 weeks
Once
on
every
my
2
legs or once every 2 weeks on my abs.
Wow.
And it's a huge difference.
Really?
Aesthetically, you can get a difference too. If you
If you
already
do it more
lean,
frequently.
I might have to stay out your place for a summer.
Yeah.
please. Yeah, if you somewhat lean, you can actually see core definition when you do like 6 to 8 sessions of it.
So can sessions be one daily for a week
It should
or
it should
once
be
a week
per
or twice a week?
per vendor, per company should be once a week. We biohack a few times a week, and it gets you faster. And
Yeah.
Well, like I
Better
was talking with
results.
that client, he'll do 2 rounds of it on his abs. He'll do NAD, red light, PMF, all at the same time, then go in the chamber.
Wow. That's a big day.
and then he actually measures everything because he wears Whoop.
Yeah.
And then he will text us the following day. This is my recovery.
And
my
usually his
sleep,
recovery's in the
everything.
high 90s.
Mhm.
When he's in his mid 60s, he looks like he's in his late 30s.
Is his job high stress?
Very high stress.
High stress.
Very nonstop.
I was figuring that.
Yeah.
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 So this is a total decompress.
Yeah, he loves it. I mean,
Yeah.
he can travel. He travels everywhere. He says that there's no place like Supreme.
So how often does it come in?
Once a week, every Monday.
Once a week, every Monday. And
When
that
he's in
process.
When
he's-
he's
when
in
he lives in
Chicago.
Florida half the year too.
Yeah.
But when
And
he lives in
how
Chicago.
long is the whole process?
It's the whole process because he does the chamber and he likes to do the
Everything.
chamber for an hour,
probably
an hour
like
and a
around
half.
3 hours.
3
yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
So 3 hours is everything?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, once a week. It's just
Once a
once
week, yeah.
for him because he's
That's-
got to.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
So going to transition now into skincare. So one of the things, I want to talk about PRP. There's another one, PFP?
PRF.
PRF. So talk about PRP
Mm-hmm.
and then what it is and what it does, and then PRF.
All right, I'll take it from here. I'm joking.
Here you go, Steve. So
Because you have great results. I've seen, again, going back to your social media, you're talking with the people that you're you're addressing their skin needs,
Right.
and you're just seeing these incredible results.
Right.
Yeah.
So PRP, platelet-rich plasma. So it's a product of blood. So why is it popular now? Because it delivers very natural results, and it's not a synthetic product. So we take your blood, we spin it, we extract the plasma portion, which is the platelet-rich plasma, and we inject it back to your skin. And then we can target the entire face, or we can target certain area depending, like if people have an under eye issue or whatever that is. So, but usually it's full face regeneration. PRF, platelet-rich fibrin or platelet-rich fibrin, same process. We take your blood, we spin it, and then we extract that fibrin. The difference is in the spinning. PRP is spun very fast. PRF, it's a slow spin, different machine. The tubes are on an angle, so whatever scientifically. And then you just extract fibrin. Fibrin is thicker, and clinical studies shows that fibrin or fibrin has more growth factors and more white blood cells, which helps with like immune response and healing. That's why we use platelet-rich fibrin now more than traditional PRP. So it's like we just saying it's a step up from the PRP. And usually the most common procedures like hair restoration for PRF, facial rejuvenation. PRF is often used in the dental offices too. Because they can use that fibrin, which clots very fast, as like a healing.
Interesting.
For
not to go off on a tangent on dental, but what they're discovering now with
amazing.
your mouth.
Yeah.
I'll give you an example. So Tia, I think I might have mentioned it to you a while ago. So my daughter, a couple of years ago, had this heart condition. Did I mention that to you?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she suddenly, I thought she had a heart attack. So she's 24 years old. She's heart rate went from resting heart rate to 240 beats a minute. So call the ambulance. So fast forward, had to do that twice. Find out, this is a year after the fact, that it was all generated from an infection in the tooth.
Her tooth. Oh my God.
Is that crazy? But back to what you're talking about with PRF, that's just... that's phenomenal. Again, I would have never known. I would have never put that together. Like what's causing this. But again, just on the other side of things, like inflammation, people are walking around day to day, feeling a certain way, down, low energy, anxiety, stress. When, as you were saying earlier, the both of you, it could be a simple thing like just adjusting your diet, starting with the simple things without going to any prescription or any, modalities or anything else. Just start there. But I truly believe that's the starting point. If you really want optimal results, I'm a believer, and 100%, it's the modalities that you offer to really enhance your life. I mean, you're obviously both are a testament to it. As I said, this, I don't know really, maybe on my two fingers, someone that does what you do, and someone who looks like you.
No alcohol either. There's no return besides social and alcohol. So try to stay away from alcohol.
Yeah, alcohol's a killer.
Yeah.
Killer.
Yeah.
It just destroys the brain cells. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's more in that. And that's the other thing with back to Braintap. Another thing that they're finding out with Braintap is how that's helping addiction.
Yeah.
But again, you're not going to change unless you really want to change. So making that
100%
habit change is important. So let's go into marketing strategy. You have a successful business. What are some of the things that you do from a marketing perspective? I know we have the rock star behind the scenes, Christina.
She's here.
She's a rock star. That's I have to say that's 100%. High on the priority
100%.
list. High on the priority list. You have to
for sure.
you have to connect with someone that knows what they're doing and passionate about it. They just love what they're doing, and they're putting it out there. That's a huge piece of the marketing. But what are the things, recommendations or suggestions that you can give to others? And as I said earlier, we spoke about, people are looking to get into the space, but it's not just like let's do it. It's like there's planning involved. There's like looking at these different things that are out there, and it's not an inexpensive task either. It's very depending on what level you want to go to, but those pieces of equipment, especially what you have there, that's quite the investment. But what recommendations would you give to someone from a marketing perspective?
First and foremost, build a great team.
Teamwork.
Team.
I think
Teamwork makes the dream work.
Yeah, and then that turns into
100%. You're
referrals.
no one without your team.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And it starts at the front desk. It starts with somebody coming through the doors, meeting your front desk person. So important. And then remember, Rob, in this business, either you're a nurse, a doctor, a wellness coach, a trainer, I believe, can be a part of this as well. And your front desk person, maybe your salesperson too, maybe, right?
I think that's, like you said, I think it's a team.
So everybody's got to play their position. They got to play it
people
well.
who are passionate and dedicated, and they have to believe in a business, but they also have to believe in you.
How many people do you have working with you?
5, right? 6.
Well,
Aggie,
the 2 doctors, the 2 nurses.
2 doctors, 2 nurses, Christina,
Bella's
Jessie,
in school.
Bella, 7.
So I really
Natalie,
believe
8.
that,
8. I'm sorry, 8. Oh my
I
gosh.
truly believe what you just said. Even the first impression, I can't tell you how many times I walked into a business and they, no matter, regardless of whether I was going to buy something or do something or sign a membership, it bewilders me on the lack of interaction or paying attention. As soon as you walk through the door, it should be, and then I can't tell you how many times, I'm sure you've experienced too, where you're just waiting there. Not an acknowledgement or anything.
Right.
Well, when she has free time, she'll go in other places. It doesn't have to be med spas, and she'll test them. She wants to see what the front desk person is doing. Remember, your front desk person can upsell and sell a lot of different things and can market your place too. You talk about marketing. So, let's start within the group, the teamwork first.
The nucleus.
Right? Are they selling? Are they doing enough to bring in clients and sell these different items that we do?
Also, the energy that front desk, I don't like to call them front desk. I'm just trying to find a different name
make
for
them
it.
like
Customer representative.
I like
Let's say
that,
client
Dominika.
representative.
I like that. Yeah, that's a great thing to look at. That's a great perspective.
She sets the tone when a client comes in, and her energy reflects. That's a reflection of your
on
business.
The team.
Exactly. If she has a low energy and there's, like you said, no acknowledgement, that's it.
It's a done
that
deal.
client
And that's not just one person now. That person leaves. They have 3 or 4 friends they probably see weekly.
and
They have 3 or 4 friends, and it's like a trickle effect.
So when it comes to marketing, this is the first person that actually can help you market your business, because if your client leaves happy, they're going to tell 5 friends, hey, I went to this place and it's amazing.
I always believed in that. Even when I had back in my practice with USA Karate, it was like, it's not back then, the newspaper ads, way back then. It wasn't newspaper, it was referrals.
Yeah,
it's not the Facebook ads or the Instagram ads.
And here's
it's
a
referral
couple
ads.
days ago, Christina was off. We were both at work. Every single client that came in said, where's Christina? They don't ask, where's Steve? Where's Dominika? Where's Christina?
We were asking where she was at, even so we knew where she was at. But we were missing her because it's like,
yeah, that's what I want to hear. I want clients to miss my front client representative person. Yes,
that's awesome.
And that even goes for our nurses and all our whole staff.
Now, do you have you weekly staff meetings, or what do you do with your staff?
Because we have 2 locations, it is a little bit challenging. I used to have one once a month. Now it's more like an email communication, text message communication, and we do big meetings like every other or every third month. But we communicate daily.
And I think it's once you lay out the groundwork and then you have that connection with the team.
When your team is dedicated and passionate about what you do and they believe in you, it's easy. Like our nurses, we have one nurse that she's been with me since I started. When I tell you, there's no other person like her. Truly, there's no other person. She is so dedicated. She works so hard, and it's been years, and she, to this day, I can't even, there's no one like her.
Rob, think about great sports teams. They either draft great players or they have great players from free agency, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing with business.
And
you need great people.
She
you
can't do it by yourself either.
You can't do it by yourself.
No. And her name is Aggie. She always wants to learn every day. She wants to learn something new. And we hired another nurse, and she, even though she has way more experience, she's still open-minded to learn from the new nurse. Like, what is she bringing to the table? Where do I have to improve? That's amazing, because
that's great.
that's the whole.
That's a great employee.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So and I believe the same, we another location we have Natalie, who is like a main, I would say manager front desk. She's also laser esthetician, and very good in her craft, very organized. You need that. Everyone has, their strength, and you need every single piece for your team to
remember these
work.
places are small businesses, right? At the end of the day.
Yeah.
They might come from, maybe there's like the Liquivitas where there's like 40 of them. But even then, they're individually, I think, still owned, right?
Right.
And so you only have so much time and money with any small business.
Right.
So you need the first, I would say most importantly, is have a great team. Marketing dollars you got to be careful with. We've talked about this.
But before, when it comes to when it comes to leaders or like owners, I don't believe in like micromanagement per se. I always believe that I have to give ability or independence. Like all of people who work with us are independent in a way. There's no, like, let's say a template. And I am very open-minded to grow and be coached. So I welcome constructive
which is a
feedback,
very important value,
because I need to grow and I need to learn, and I learn every day. And I learn from Christina, I learn from Natalie, I learn from Tamar, Aggie, I learn from doctors. I learn every day. I make mistakes too. I need to be checked at times, like you're not, so that's important. Like if someone comes in and then they just want it their way, the business will never grow. You gotta be open-minded, and everyone has to be willing to learn.
Allow the talent to flourish.
Yeah,
right.
Don't
like control it.
Becomes like a family.
Yeah,
it is. Yeah. When it comes to marketing, tough now. So I say we made a lot of mistakes with marketing. We hired different.
Well, that's what I was saying. That's what I was saying. Well, you could
this is where you come in, Rob, because when we started talking to you changed our thinking with marketing.
Thank you.
And the approach on how to take that route with a business, right? And you said, made all the mistakes. I hear you guys.
Yeah.
So that gave us comfort. Like, all right, people make these mistakes, but then you talked about kind of navigating from that. And the big thing was networking. Getting out there, relationship building.
You can't do so. I think so many people want it now. So when you're meeting someone, like even when we go to these conferences, everyone has a need, right? They want something, but they put that want ahead of building a relationship first.
Right.
So instead of like, what can you give to me? What can I provide to you? First of all, identify what benefits and value that I can bring to you without asking anything.
Right.
What can I do? What can I do for you? And then having that relationship, then you'd be amazed, like 2 to 3 months down the road, without any conversation at all about business, suddenly there's something on one end or the other that happens and transpires into something else. And all it is, when you talk about connecting the dots, you're one dot away from going from here to boom to the next level. Yeah. But even there's small gradual changes, like I always refer to, small steps every day on what you can do.
Well, think about it. You went from, doing a podcast with Sam, who has an incredible following, to doing a podcast pretty soon with 10 million followers.
Unbelievable. Yeah. It's incredible.
So it's just
and very, 10 million is obviously speaks for itself, but you can go out there and you can see the people with the millions that are not, the million. This is a truly an inspirational, he has a great following, great engagement. But what you're doing is awesome. What's your goals and objectives? I know you're opening up another clinic in June, or is it in the process right now?
It's in the process, yeah. So vision would be to be the best wellness clinic in Chicagoland area. So that's the vision. But I think the mission always gonna stay like the core value to serve, community, to empower individuals to achieve optimal health, well-being, longevity. Through like all these holistic blends and regenerative treatments that we provide. But I think that definitely, and raising awareness is huge. I think I wanna serve clients. I wanna educate. So it's not about how many locations I have or what is my revenue. I don't think numbers. I just wanna get a better exposure so I can educate and reach more.
Well, that's one of
people.
the things that was really attracted, what I'm doing with all the people that I'm working with, because one, you're selfless, and two, you just have both of you have a sincere, genuine desire to educate, to raise awareness, because you don't know like who is watching right now, who will take a bit of the information, possibly make a change, possibly check out a local MedSpa or check out a modality or NAD or make that phone call. So it's steps. It's motivation and inspiring others
Right.
to live that lifestyle. Yeah.
Right. And like going back to the marketing, like I said, we wasted a lot of money on doing different, I don't know, like Facebook ads, Instagram ads, some other things that brought us zero results. And honestly, like we went back to basics. Like our focus is to serve clients. Clients' results, that's my goal. I want them to achieve results. And that was the best marketing that I've done for myself, because when you have, almost 100% of satisfaction, all these clients are going out and telling other people. And we don't really do any marketing because we operate based on referrals right now.
And you can't go wrong with that.
You can't. Because truly, like, we want to serve clients, and every single person that work with us, they have the same energy, the same passion, the same dedication, and the same philosophy. So the core values stay consistent. We going out there. The clients is your priority. Nothing else matter. If we can't deliver results, we either refer this out or we just pivot.
Again, selfless. You're not afraid.
Right. You want to be hyper-focused for your clients.
Hyper-focused for the clients. And back to what you were saying, there's no need to spend, and I know because I've done it, I learned from my hard mistakes. You hire nothing against publicists or nothing against digital marketers or Facebook ads or anything else, but the number one source for result is the client referral. And
yes,
period.
I agree.
One of the things that was most successful with me, which I think that companies can definitely do the same, just apply it to their business or practice, was I found that offering free, where I would do free group every Saturday morning, I would offer a free class. The kids were at 9:00, adults were at 12, free, no matter who showed up, and no pressure, sign up or not. But I can't tell you, just from that free class, I knew, because I was confident enough to know that once that was over, that I just already did what I had to do. I don't have to say anything. They just have to say where to.
It's funny.
Right.
You bring that up because with Steve's package, which is a lot of Steve stacking.
Yeah.
We do that a lot where I'll have a client come in. I'll just say, come on in. And we don't talk price. We'll talk anything yet. I put them through it. They sign a waiver, obviously, but I put them through it. Then afterwards, usually they'll sign up and do something. And if they do, I just waive that fee for the first time.
Because,
So because you're trying to educate, because again, some of this is brand new to people.
And people, I think, put so much emphasis on like back then, what was popular is in the introductory class back then was come in today for $39.95 for an introductory class. So I said, I'll just waive that. And if you signed up on that day, then you get the free uniform as well. And so I know, and it was all confidence. I know once you come into my place, I know that I don't have to do anything other than do what I do best, which was teaching. So here, if you were to apply it to someone like what Steve just said, you have someone come in. What I see happening is like if you put it out there, we just like an email blast where we're going to limited offer. You're going to show people through the facility, educate them on just like what we spoke about on the podcast, the last 2 episodes, because so many people don't know, but they want to know, but they don't have the opportunity. So I think presented the right way, coming back to what we were speaking about, press releases.
And I love that idea too, because, we had a client that had brought up something about like sending out emails on information education, which I like too, but bringing them out in person and educating them
big difference.
for free and showing them what we're doing.
It's just it could be a half hour, 45 minutes.
Yeah.
You're just walking through the facility, because how many people have no idea what a hyperbaric chamber looks like or what it does?
Yeah. Yeah.
And then just by hearing, and then most of them will go home to their family members, their friends, not understanding or realizing until they met with you on what the potential can be, whether it's, a better athlete, whether it's overcoming an illness, you don't know what their challenge is.
Pre-COVID, a lot of people, the masses had no idea about IV nutrition. They really didn't.
Oh, no.
I thought
agree with
people
that.
were doing IVs for years.
I
Remember
agree with
that?
that.
Yeah.
Now it's very popular since COVID. I see more IV nutrition. I see more of these places.
I think
popping
people,
up.
you think people are so leery of it, though. I think from when I speak to people, they just are a little hesitant because again, comes from lack of understanding of like, when they think of IV, they can think of a hospital, like going into a hospital.
Yeah.
They're not thinking of like, okay, what's really happening here?
Yeah.
And as you said earlier, Dominika, it's the difference 100% is 100%. It's 100% instead of taking that pill or that supplement where it doesn't get absorbed, 100%.
I mean, here, Rob, in 2014, I was introduced to ozone for the first time in Arizona, Scottsdale, Arizona. Okay. That therapy. I went back to Chicago looking for it. You could not find any clinic, any place that did ozone till 2017, 3 years later.
Wow.
Okay. If you would have said 10 years ago, people are going to do NAD and that's going to be a great market, people are like, are you crazy? What? I'm going to have some IV that's going to take me 2 hours and it might make me feel a little like I might get a little stomach issue or I might get a headache from it. Are you nuts? There's going to be clinics that are going to do this. Yeah, maybe for addictions, but not for regular people. Now look what's happening, right? So that's how far we've come. Same with hyperbaric chambers. When the man invented the Fortivus 420, which was Amir's father, who would have thought that technology in the late 90s that he saw and reinvented it because he was an engineer and almost went under in 2008 because of the economy, right? Now it's one of the biggest places going as far as providing hyperbaric chambers for the country.
And by the way, we don't have any financial affiliation with Oxy Health. We have to, we just love the company.
No, I know them very well.
Yeah,
Great
so we just want to say that.
All our stuff.
Yeah.
Pocket, Braintap, we have no affiliate. We buy the product.
What's interesting is it's not just the piece of equipment or device. It's the actual genuine people behind it.
Oh, not only, you want to talk about customer service.
Yeah, not only are they brilliant, but they're brilliant with a desire to make a difference. And
the company, the integrity, the authenticity, it's just beyond. We are very, very impressed with how they run the business.
Well, we are closing out right now. So you going to the A4M conference in April?
We might, but we're definitely going to be going to
biohacking, and that's at the end of May.
Dave Asprey in May.
Dave Asprey, yeah. So two big events coming up. Dr. Robert Goldman's A4M conference, that is in April in West Palm Beach. And then a great one, Dave Asprey's biohacking conference in Austin, Texas. Mm-hmm. So again, Dominika and Steve are always out there. It's always about learning and growing. I strongly encourage trainers to get out there and intermingle with people like Steve and Dominika. Go to your local MedSpa and find out what exactly is offered, because at the end of the day, you're only going to optimize your clients' results.
Those trainers that do that will evolve and go to the next level. And I think that is something that Rob Fletcher has been putting out there for many, many years. And it's finally
Thank you, brother.
I do.
Thank you. God bless me. Bless you. You guys are.
Thank you so much.
God bless me with you guys.
Thank you so much.
So we are here. Make sure you tune in again. Steve and Dominika, Supreme Wellness, Aesthetics, and Recovery. Extremely knowledgeable. I can't emphasize enough. Go to their website. Follow them on Instagram. One more time, Dominika. Both Instagram, Supreme and Dominika.
Dominika_Supreme Wellness.
And then Supreme Wellness is
Supreme_Wellness_Aesthetics.
Make sure you check them out. Until next time, have a great week. Be the best you can be.